Welcome into OutKick the show. I'm your fearless leader, Clay Travis. Happy early Thanksgiving to all of you. This will be the last OutKick show that I do before Thanksgiving. I'm going to be on the road this evening, as many of you are, all over the country, with everybody getting ready to have what is supposed to be the biggest travel day of the year. I will be out and about, as many of you will. Stay safe. Appreciate all your support of OutKick. We will have a FS1 show on tomorrow, which is why I am so Natalie attired. And that will air on FS1 at 6 p.m. Eastern, as our weekly show typically does. All right, we got a lot to dive through. We got a crazy chick running for Congress in the Nashville area. This is hitting close to home legitimately because this crazy chick wants to be my congresswoman. I cannot allow it to happen. I'm going to start off the show talking about it because a lot of people are not aware that there is going to be a congressional race. It's going on right now. You can vote early. And I'm going to vote on Election Day, which is 1 week from today on December 2nd. I will talk about that. College football's big rivalry weekend. Diego Pavia on with OutKick says he thinks he's the best player in college football. Trump pardons turkeys in advance of Thanksgiving. The Nashville Super Bowl is hopefully going to happen sooner rather than later. Fan mail came to the house, and the world's strongest woman turned out to be a dude. Pablo Torre, biggest upset loser associated with this. But we began with, I want to play a series of clips because I think it's important for all of you to recognize just how batshit insane Afton Bain is, who is the Democrat nominee. She makes AOC seem like a moderate. She is running for Congress. She wants to be my congresswoman. We have a series of videos. This is important. She's not hiding who she is. Usually people like this try and pretend they're something other than what they are. If you are in Clarksville, Tennessee, at Fort Campbell, up near the Kentucky border, if you're in Nashville, Franklin, Brentwood, where I am, you need to vote. If you're down on the southern border near Alabama, this chick is crazy. She cannot represent anybody in Tennessee. Here she is storming the governor's office and being restrained. Does this look like a healthy, mature, normal person to you? Watch.
Okay.
Something to us. Are you okay? Sorry, that was completely unnecessary. We just need we are just living lots of gammas. That is unreasonable. Y'all should be ashamed.
Oh, yeah.
That's her on the ground crying. The Bulwark wrote an article saying we want to send people like Clay Travis and Candace Owens and Tommy Lahren or whoever, Brett Cooper. We want to send them a message because this is their congressional district. Well, I'm sending all you a message. Hell no, this chick's not going to rep me. Here she is saying, hey, the entire Metro Nashville Police Department should be shut down. We've got to defund the police. Watch this.
Representative, in 2020, you made some tweets that have since been deleted that were very critical of police. You said in those since deleted tweets that the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department should be dissolved. Another cheered on a teachers union saying that defund the police should be a requirement for schools reopening. And another saying good morning, especially to the 54% of Americans that believe burning down a police station is justified. 2020 was obviously a very fraught year. Do you still stand by those comments? And if not, is there anything you want to clarify?
I'm not going to engage in cable news talking points.
So you don't want to clarify whether you still believe that the police should be defunded?
once again, I don't remember these tweets, but what I'm saying is that
I'm not asking you if you remember. What is your position today? How's that on this issue?
I mean, I'm here to talk about my race, which is in literally 9 days.
That is legit MSNBC being like, hey, crazy chick, would you like to walk back some of your crazy chick takes? And she said, no, I'm going to just own this, defund the police, burn down police stations. This chick is crazy. She also said, hey, men can get pregnant and have babies. This is that.
I think as an organizer and as an activist, like, we really have an opportunity here in this country to talk about what type of progressive policies we want to see as young women. And I think we have, as birther, as women who can give birth, men and women who can give birth, we can maybe leverage that as collective bargaining, which is the basis of this book that I've just started reading, but called Birth Strike, and how we can really leverage collective bargaining when it comes to having children in this country. And so, for example, like, I'm not going to give birth until the United States government concedes ABCD. What do you think about that?
It seems a little much for me.
Democrats are spending money like crazy. This chick cannot be my congresswoman. Please, I implore all of you in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, go vote. If you don't know, because Nashville is cut up into 3 different congressional districts. I didn't even know what district I was in until 2022 when I went to vote. I'm in the 7th, okay? If you don't know, go check. Go online. You could even go try and vote. Say, hey, is this my district? I'm not sure about it. Early voting today and tomorrow. Democrats are pouring money into this race because they believe they can steal this seat, because a lot of people aren't aware that this race is going on. Don't let them steal this seat. Again, I implore you, get out and vote. Please get out and vote, everybody out there. Okay. Much less seriously, we got rivalry week going in college football. I cannot wait. I am ecstatic. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, cornucopia of football excess. I'm not sure that we have ever seen this much outstanding college football and NFL action. Diego Pavia, who would be my vote right now to win the Heisman Trophy. And guys, if you're watching right now, can we please pull this video to play during the OutKick show? He went on with Jonathan Hutton and Chad Withrow, Hot Mike, and they asked him, hey, do you deserve the Heisman Trophy? Diego Pavia said, yes, because I'm the best player in college football. Watch.
Why are you, Diego Pavia, the Heisman Trophy winner this year?
Well, the Heisman Trophy winner goes to the best player in college football. I believe that to be myself. You check the numbers, and especially there's 2 things that don't lie to you: numbers and tape. And I've been taught that since I was young. You go check that out. I feel like I'm undoubtedly, the best player in college football.
By the way, Matt Van Epps, that was Diego Pavia. Matt Van Epps, I don't know that I said his name, is who everybody in Tennessee should be voting for. He is the Republican nominee running against the crazy chick. Okay, speaking of crazy chicks, this is actually a dude pretending to be a chick. Pablo Torre is going to be really upset about this. They had the world's strongest woman competition. That might not be the official title, but it's effectively the strongest women in the world, in the United States, at least. In Austin, Texas, a guy pretending to be a chick showed up and won the women's weightlifting challenge. I believe we have a photo of this. Can we pull it up? You'll never believe who the dude is. Oh yeah, it's the dude who was in first place. This is like the Macho Man Randy Savage on South Park Comedy Central back in the day. A lot of people have been reacting to this. The group, the Women's Weightlifting Association, says, oh, we just found out that this was an actual guy, and they have stripped him of the title, which would theoretically elevate this woman to the championship. And so congratulations, women's sports should be played by women. And some of you may have seen this happened last week. I was in Italy and I fired off reacting to it, and I reacted to this. I tagged Pablo Torre because Pablo Torre, who, look, hasn't invited me on the show. Every time everybody else, Jordan Hudson's like threatening to sue him or what else. Anytime anyone speaks out, he shared clips from me on his program. I believe anytime someone has challenged him, he's gone on and he said, hey, just come on the show. He hasn't invited me on the show. I'm happy to go on the show and point out that women's sports should only be played by women. But he attacked Riley Gaines. He did an entire episode, it's like 80 minutes long, in consultation in conjunction with Mother Jones. And the entire purpose of the program was designed to attack Riley Gaines for speaking out against men winning women's championships. Now, Pablo has tried to say, no. What we're really attacking is Riley hasn't been outspoken enough about sexual assault allegations in a civil complaint that were filed against a University of Kentucky coach. But actually, she's spoken out about it. And again, it's a court proceeding. I don't know how much you need to speak out about that. That doesn't deal at all with what she's speaking out against, which is the essence of competition itself, men not being able to compete against women. And I do think this is significant because you can be rightly outraged by allegations of sexual assault and also be rightly outraged by men pretending to be women, right? For instance, if a 16-year-old tried to play 12U baseball, I could be opposed to that and murder, right? That doesn't say that they are the equivalent, but most people in America are both opposed to violent crime and opposed to people who shouldn't be eligible to compete in athletic endeavors doing both. Riley Gaines is not a DA. She's not a politician. She is someone who is speaking out against men and women's sports, like this dude who just won a women's championship. If Democrats like Pablo Torre just came out and said, yeah, you know what? She's right. No men should be able to compete in women's sports. The issue would go away and Riley wouldn't be getting paid to speak. And by the way, trying to claim that somehow her receiving money to speak is a sign of grifting. They said, oh, her speech rates have gone up substantially. Of course they have. She's super talented and her profile has grown. As you become more famous in whatever your chosen line of work is or more skilled at it, you make more money. That's how capitalism works. That's how Pablo Torre makes money. The more people who consume his product, the more money he makes. That's how everyone in media makes money. So I don't even understand the entire concept. She spoke out because she had to swim against Leah Thomas, a man pretending to be a woman. And Pablo Torre's like, it wasn't even that big of a deal. It's sure a guy has a dick and he's in a women's locker room, but he wasn't even facing them. This is his argument. I would submit if your argument ever includes, yeah, the guy with a dick was in the women's locker room, but he was facing the other way and he was wearing a towel. Why? Was it to cover up the fact that he had a dick? I think it was, Pablo. If you ever find yourself in the position of, yeah, the man was naked in the women's locker room, but it wasn't a big deal because he had a towel on, you've lost the argument, okay? And I'm happy to go on and have this argument. I'll go on Pablo's show and I will dunk on him Scottie Pippen, Patrick Ewing style back in the 90s. Balls in the face, because I do have balls, just like Leah Thomas has balls. And if you have balls, you should not be winning women's sports championships, period. And the fact that Pablo won't answer that question is cowardice. Look, if Riley Gaines had become outspoken in the belief that men pretending to be women should be able to compete in women's sports, like Megan Rapinoe has argued, Pablo Torre never would have done this story at all. If Pablo Torre saw that Megan Rapinoe is making $100,000 to speak, which she might, I have no idea what her speech rate is, partly because she has spoken in favor of men being able to compete in women's sports, he would never have done this story. This is where I don't like journalists, right? If you have a take, fine. Go share the take. I've got tons of takes. Some of you are going to agree with me. I'll give you a Thanksgiving take. You should never recline your chair, your seat on an airplane. I hate chair recliners. I'm telling you exactly what I think. You can agree or disagree with everything under the sun that I say, but I don't ever say, as a journalist, I'm going to cover this story and, oh, look, why is Riley Gaines not talking more about sexual assault allegations? She's talking about men and women's sports because she competed against a dude who won an NCAA championship. If that hadn't happened, she would be a dentist right now. If Democrats just said, hey, you know what? People can wear skirts if they're dudes. They can have their cock and balls flopping all over their thighs when they're walking around in a women's short skirt. Oh, that's brave. Oh, we're going to pretend we don't see the dick right there in the pants or whatever they're wearing. But it makes them happier. That's my thing. I don't really care. If you're a grown up and you want to walk around and pretend you're an opposite sex than what you are, more power to you. But that changes when you tell me, hey, and I can win a women's championship. All Democrats have to say, like Pablo Torre, is just, yeah, this shouldn't happen. Just like a 16-year-old shouldn't compete in 12U baseball. When my son was playing 12U baseball, I had to show up with his birth certificate and prove that he was actually the right age to be able to compete, as every parent does. The idea that the strongest woman in the world could actually be a dude is just flat out wrong. I'm sorry, impossible to defend. So I'll go on and I'll make the case to Pablo's audience, which probably will agree with me, that he did a sham journalistic endeavor that was designed entirely to try to attack Riley Gaines because she's been so effective in pointing out the insanity of what's going on there. By the way, violent crime is wrong. So is a dude with a dick winning a women's championship. Most people agree with me on both those things. I want violent criminals behind bars. I want them to be put in prison. Have we shown the Macho Man Randy Savage graphic? Let's put that up. Pablo thinks the Macho Man Randy Savage, South Park style, is a hero, just like the dude with a dick who's now the strongest woman in the world that actually ended up losing his title. I got fan mail. Some of you are going to be shocked by this. Everyone doesn't love me. This came to the house the other day. Fortunately, not a death threat. Someone with at least from Pittsburgh, PA. Maybe this was Aaron Rodgers. Maybe this was Mike Tomlin. Maybe it was Paul Skeens. Maybe it was Livy Dunn. I don't know. They wanted from Pittsburgh to send me a message. And this is the entirety. I opened this envelope from Pittsburgh, and all it said is, you are ugly. This is right here, what you're seeing on the screen. Now, I want to give credit where credit is due. This is the correct U and the correct R. A lot of people who hate me would have said Y-O-U are ugly. This is the correct U. This is the correct R. Grammatically, this is very well done. I'm sorry that I'm ugly. What did Abraham Lincoln say back in the day? Somebody accused him of being two-faced, and he said, if I had two faces, do you think I would wear this one? I wish I was incredibly good-looking. I would love to be incredibly good-looking. I would like to be dashing and debonair, and I would like for people to see me and be like, hey, you know what? I want to bang that guy. This is, of all the men in the world, this is the one that I would like to bang. Even my wife doesn't say that. I would love for that to be the case. I would like to walk in and people be like, you know, I'm not really sure. Who's better looking? Matthew McConaughey or Clay Travis? Really, it's a tough call right now. Who is better looking? Glenn Powell, Clay Travis. I would love it. Denzel Washington, even at 78 years old or whatever the heck he is, or Clay Travis, who's better looking? I would like to be in competition with those guys. I'm not. Instead, I am ugly, and I appreciate Pittsburgh PA fan taking the time to spend 71 cents, I think that's what a stamp is, and to actually try and find, and successfully do so, my actual home address to just tell me that I am ugly. You, sir, tip of the cap. I'm sorry I'm so ugly. Let's see. Nashville. You want a positive story as we head into Thanksgiving? Nashville is going to get a Super Bowl. I think there's a very good chance it's the 2029 or the 2030 Super Bowl. As a kid born and raised in Nashville, if you had told me, not only are we going to have an NFL team, not only are we going to have an NHL team, for God's sakes, an MLS team, which didn't even exist when I was a kid, and I think soon, in the next decade, we'll have a Major League Baseball team, but we are going to build a new dome stadium, basically, and we are going to be able to host a Super Bowl in 2029 or 2030. I would have said there's no way that could possibly happen. Here was Roger Goodell, as they are building the new stadium in Nashville, coming out and saying, yeah, Nashville is a Super Bowl city. Watch.
Listen, I think so much of the vision that Amy and the Titans have here, listen, it's an important franchise and a wonderful franchise for the NFL. And I know that the work that they've done here from the moment you had the draft and what you did to change the trajectory of the draft, you actually took the draft and made it yours, but you did it in a way that made it incredibly impactful to the future of the NFL and the Titans. And I think all of us at that moment had that wake-up moment that this is a Super Bowl-ready city. The one thing that's missing is the stage. And I think now you're building a great stage. We have a process, but I have every expectation that you're going to see that type of thing in the future.
Gambling picks are up on are up at OutKick. Kelly Stewart and I did a fade episode yesterday. I don't know if it is aired yet. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday picks. PrizePicks here for you is a 5-1 payout. Dallas Cowboys playing the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't believe the whole world probably is going to be rooting for the Cowboys here. George Pickens on fire right now. More than 76.5 receiving yards. Okay. That is prong one. Prong two. Jahmyr Gibbs. Did you watch him dominate with the Lions? Lions also playing on Thanksgiving, as they always do, against the Green Bay Packers. More than 1/2 rushing or receiving touchdown for Jahmyr Gibbs, who is on fire right now. Detroit Lion running back. And Drake May of the 10-2 New England Patriots, more than 239.5 passing yards. If I am correct on all three of those, that pays out at 5-1. You can download the app. You can play at PrizePicks.com. You can play in California. You can play in Texas. You can play in Georgia, 40 plus states. When you play $5, you get $50 deposited in your account. PrizePicks.com. PrizePicks app, code OutKick. Again, Pickens more than 76.5 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs more than 1/2 rushing or receiving touchdown. And Drake May more than 239.5 passing yards. If all three of those hit, 5x payout. $5 turns into $25. $100 turns into $500. You can get hooked up. PrizePicks.com, code OutKick. All right. Don't recline your seats. Don't be a airplane terrorist. I will be back with all of you on Monday. Special OutKick Thanksgiving Eve edition going to be airing on FS1 tomorrow. We are about to tape that right now. I hope all of you have fantastic Thanksgivings with your friends and family. Thank you for making 2025, about to be 2025, such a great year for all of us at OutKick. I am Clay Travis, DBAP unless you need to SBAP. I'm sorry for being so ugly. I will be with you on your television tomorrow and on all your social channels on Monday. This has been OutKick, the show.